people always ask me like, what is it about being a chef or what is it about, cooking that make me fall in love with it? Creating something that different, something that people never expect can work. At first, it was just such a basic thing, right? You wanna impress the girl that you were trying to see, or you're impressing your mom or you're impressing your dad, and you're just whipping something out. And for them to actually say, yeah, wow, that is delicious. That was the first love for me in terms of cooking.
Tell me about MODU. It's designed to be a magical place. That's what it feels like.
It is. And funny you mentioned that because MODU in Chinese actually means city of magic.
Ah.
Yeah, so the fact that you say magical, woo, lives up to its name.
A flair for creativity, food that'll blow your mind, and the most magnificent cocktails you can't even imagine. You'll find this at MODU, a wonderful, classy restaurant in the centre of the Perth CBD. Come and listen to Raymond Kwok as he tells us how he's weaved his magic into building this restaurant.
I started my career as a chef, right? So I was working in one of the 5-star hotel at one stage, and I remembered that every day our fish suppliers would send us this little list, right, an email, and just be like, hey, look, what do you want to do for your fish of the day tomorrow? And we'll eeny, meeny, miny, moo, or we'll look at this fish and we've never tried this fish before. So we'll order that fish and the next day it comes in and we'll cook for ourselves to eat. We're like, oh my God, this is great, this is not great. And then we'll put a price depending on how much we bought the fish for, obviously. So we're talking about 16 years ago, right? And back in the days, it's such a common thing to just see barramundi and salmon and snappers on the menu and you don't see any other fishes, but there's plenty of great fishes in the sea, but it's just that it's just not common in Perth. So, and I remember getting coral trout, and during that time I was, coral trout it's a 5-star fish. It's amazing. The Asians love it. We steam it, we grill it, we do whatever it is. Probably one of the best fish and chip I ever had. Just don't tell my mom that I decided to fry it. And we got a coral trout, and I remember selling it cheaper than the salmon, just so that it sells out the door, because no one was willing to actually try something that they're not familiar with. And, just trying to, break that mind over matter thing, or just kind of getting them to try something different that they never tried before, or listen or hear about it before is so hard back in the days. They have this amount of money that they're willing to go out and spend their dinner with. They're just not willing to try something different, where I could have, maybe put a barramundi on the menu and sell it at a premium price and people will still go and buy it. And that is exactly the Perth mindset, like you said. Back in the days, people are just not so open. And nowadays, people are willing to try, people are willing to open their minds and just try different things and just be surprised, if that makes sense. Just enjoy dinner. Just go out and just try something new. Yeah.
How did that mindset change, do you think?
I think social media has a lot got to do with it, and with information now being so easily obtained, has a lot about that. And Perth always used to be an isolated, where I feel like, where people don't really travel as much and try different things. So now I think that that kind of opens up a little bit more options, and people just willing to try different things. Yeah.
And we've got a diverse population.
Absolutely. And it's great. It's great to see. And I think everybody is willing to try different things, and chefs are willing to play a bit more. Restaurants are willing to source different products. Suppliers are willing to stock different things, just to really, excite their market a little bit more. I think, just be different, be creative, be different. That's amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Yeah.
And people seem to want, and the people I talk to really want that excitement. They don't want to go out to dinner and have the same thing they normally do. They're looking for something. What's different? What don't I know?
Yeah.
It's like it's an adventure.
Yeah. And I think a big part of it, it's also what we call like a fusion thing in food, where people started introducing different cuisines, ingredient into modern Australian side of the food, to then create a bridge, not just, hey, look, we're going to go Greek, and everybody's like, oh, what do we eat in Greek food? This, it's such a, like, for example, I'm not saying that Greek is not a common food, but in general, it's just not it is very far-fetched, or you don't know what they're eating over there. And so sometimes mixing different ingredients of different background actually create that bridge where people's like, I know what, I actually don't mind having that flavor, or a certain type of food. They kind of bridge that, yeah.
So we were talking earlier about how we've seen, I think, the flavours and the acceptance of food in Perth especially change over the last 20 years. And I also had the comparison with other countries. I've friends from Europe.
Yeah.
And when they come here, they love the variety. And the reflection is, in some of the European countries, they have a migrant population, but they don't seem to have the diversity of food that we have.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Again, I think it's a big mind over matter as well. And I think being in the industry, trying to push that boundaries on people and being different creates that. So everybody, let's say in a smaller town, being different might not be perceivable for the business, so the business might not flourish because you're too far-fetched, too far away from where you are. And I think that's why encouraging the industry and actually train, speaking to a lot of different people in Perth, for example, people, like the industry is willing to try different things and push their boundaries further and further. Hence, Perth is continually moving and going forward. But I can imagine if there's so much reluctance in pushing that boundary, then the diversity of food will just be stagnant because people will just go out and eat the common food again and again and again and again. Yeah.
So what is it about our population in Perth now that allows a whole bunch of restaurants actually to say, well, we're going to try this. The menu's going to be different.
Yeah. I think it's people are traveling a lot more. People are traveling a lot more and seeing the world a bit more. And that creates a sense of connection between different cuisines, different needs and different wants. And being Perth, we are probably very closely related to, people from all over the world flying in and immigrants and moving in. I think that has created a bridge between people wanting to try different things and associate themselves with different cultures and different food. Yeah.
Yeah, it's magical, really, isn't it?
It is absolutely magical. Yeah. And I think, we're still very far from, say, the bigger cities in the world. But I think we're definitely not. We're definitely catching up to it.
Yeah. I'm going to go backwards.
Yeah, go for it.
Who is Raymond Kwok?
Raymond Kwok.
Who is that guy?
I was born Indonesian to a very loving mom and dad. And being the only son in the family, they had great expectations for me. And they sent me off to Singapore during one of the hard times in Indonesian history to kind of push me to become a better person, business, education side of things in Singapore, and then come to Perth. And growing up, I never liked to study. Study was never my biggest forte. During year 12, I started part-time in a local Japanese restaurant, and I absolutely fall in love with the industry.
How come? That's a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
To have that impact on a young person.
So a big part of it was feeling a sense of family or belonging, because I was here in Perth by myself. My mom and dad sent me off to a homestay, and I just never felt having leaving my family at 10 years old, 11 years old. I never really felt connected or a family kind of sense. And when I started working in this restaurant, my two bosses, Ben and Vincent sadly passed away a few years ago. They just give me a sense of like a family belonging, being in this restaurant to work and money, but at the same time they were a mentor to me growing up. And I was young. I was 17, 18 years old. Imagine being in that rebellious stage and actually having someone old enough to look up to and have this business mindset, and you just feel a sense of belonging. And what I really felt in love with the industry is camaraderie. Just having that sense of teamwork and camaraderie on a day-to-day basis. Again, being my Asian family, they were always wanted me to go uni. So I did. I tried going to uni. I actually did multimedia design in Curtin for 3 years. Didn't graduate. Wasn't the best of it. But all the time I was always a part of part-time in this Japanese restaurant. And little did I know, I fall in love more and more in the industry, and I decided to pursue my career out of hospitality and food and beverage. So I started, going to chef school, learning the ins and outs of the trade from the kitchen, learning how to appreciate food, learning how to play with food. And if people always ask me, like, what is it about being a chef, or what is it about, cooking that hold me, or make me fall in love with it, is actually creating something. And just going back to what I said, creating something that different, or something that people never expect can work, and actually cooking it for the table, and someone will actually appreciate it. And at first, it was just such a basic thing, right? You wanna impress the girl that you were trying to see, or you're impressing your mom, or you're impressing your dad, and you're just whipping something out, and for them to actually say, yeah, wow, that is delicious. That was the first love for me in terms of cooking, and that's how it becomes so addictive that I just want to create and pursue in that field of cooking. So I did my apprenticeship. I did the whole career out of it. Did 15 years behind the kitchen, behind the fire. Love every single bit of it. And only say about 5 years ago that I moved out of the kitchen to run more restaurants side of the business than just the kitchen side of the business. And now here I am running a few restaurants in town and loving it. In general, that is Raymond.
Was MODU your first restaurant?
No, so His and Smoke in Yagan Square, the one that specializes in Japanese grills and offals and izakaya vibe, which is more of a casual eatery, is my first restaurant in Perth. Yeah, among with some of my beautiful partners in town. Yeah.
Was that scary to get into, Raymond, at the time? If you think back.
Yeah, no, it is definitely scary. I'm very glad one of my business partner is also one of my mentor in this. So he definitely has guided me and coached us through this and being able to guide us in the right pathway for a successful restaurant operation. And what was scary is going into MODU. We actually signed this deal right in the dead heat of COVID, right? And when people are so afraid of doing things, we were just jumping into deals because it was such a great time to be doing business, because we had faith that COVID-19 is going to go under the rug one day. It's going to under the rug one day, hopefully, and it did. It did, and here we are in the successful side of the COVID, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Tell me about MODU. That's such an interesting restaurant venue. The look, the feel, the food is magnificent. The cocktails are world class.
Yep.
Staff are beautiful.
Thank you.
They're just wonderful to deal with. Like it's designed to be a magical place. That's what it feels like.
It is. And funny you mentioned that, because MODU in Chinese actually means city of magic.
Ah.
Yeah, so the fact that you say magical, woo, lives up to its name. So MODU is designed, the inspiration behind MODU is Shanghai in the 1920s. So back in the days when China was still very big on communism, in the 1920s, they allowed people to start trading into China, which is massive to the western side of the cultures, because that was a massive untapped market that they never trade with. And in the 1920s, Shanghai was the capital city of where that trade was about to happen. And because of that massive influx of different cultures coming into, it started affecting the food, it started affecting the architecture, it started to affect the nightlife of that. And people all over China, when they come to Shanghai, it was just an a mixture, like a different part of China. Like it was just different. And they started calling it MODU because it just means city of magic or city of sin. And we want to keep that element. And we grew MODU, like in Perth now, our restaurant is exactly that mindset where it's an Asian fusion. You go in and you see bits and pieces that reminds you of China, say like wooden bowl, like there's like bamboos, there is slats of wood, there is, mosaic tiles, there's emerald jade greens, and there is things that reminds you of China, but it's not like the flying dragons and the lanterns and stuff like that. It has that sense of a mix of cultures and even food and stuff like that. And the cocktail all has that Asian element to it. We're not limiting ourselves to just China, but we open ourselves to a culture of the Asian market or the Asian cuisine. And we have live music throughout Thursday to Saturday. And we believe that is, back in the days, live music is just a thing, right? You go to bars, you go to restaurants, and there's this band or this beautiful lady is standing on the stage and just singing her hearts out. And that's what we want to kind of create, that just magic side of the equation. And MODU has become a venue where people ask us, like, what is MODU? Like, is it a restaurant? Is it a cocktail bar? What are you? So we started trying to break the barriers. We love breaking barriers, by the way, if you haven't realized.
I would never have picked it.
We started breaking barriers, trying to break perceptions. And we always have this perception that cocktail bars does not serve great food. You always serve, bites and small snacks. And restaurant does not have an extensive cocktail list. And, the live music is always a background music. So, and hence why MODU is all that. So it's a cocktail bar that serves great food, a restaurant as well that serves an extensive list of cocktails, and we have a live music that is not just background music, right? These guys that we have in MODU are professional music artists that you can find just on Spotify that is making soundtracks by themselves. They record singles, and MODU is all that. So it's where people want to be in. It's to party, to enjoy great food, to drink, and just have a great time. And that is it. Yeah.
And it works.
It works. It absolutely
It's
works.
always busy, isn't it?
It's busy most weekends. Weekdays are a little bit quieter, but that is Perth. Perth everywhere. Yeah.
What's it like, Raymond, running a restaurant? And MODU's more than a restaurant.
Yeah.
But it's a restaurant and bar. And business isn't smooth, is it?
No. I think all business person, all entrepreneurs will always say that it looks fun. In the superficial side of things, everybody just sees the glory and the joy and the I wouldn't say fame, but more like these guys are doing great, that guy is doing great and stuff like that. But it's not easy. It's absolutely not easy, right? Rising costs, people not coming out as more these days with inflations and stuff like that. It's definitely not an easy game. Yeah, hospitality is probably, based on the survey-wise, is up there with the first industry to actually go, the biggest industry or the first industry to actually go bust. Like so many people in administration, this restaurant failing, cannot afford to pay wages. And it's, being on the front line of the industry, I can definitely see why. Absolutely a tough business to be in.
But it's always been a tough business, hasn't it? That's not a result of inflation. Not that helped, that exacerbates problems, right?
Yep.
But I've been in finance for years, and across the industries, I watch what happens. Mm. And it feels to me as if there's a lot of people who go into hospitality because they see the glitz and the glamour.
Yeah.
And it attracts you emotionally.
Yes.
Say, oh, wow, that'd be so cool. You get, you you're married to the dream.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
And the
Like-
dream keeps you going through hard times. But some people go into it with the dream in mind,
Yeah,
but they're unaware of the fundamentals.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And they have no idea of how hard it could get,
Yeah.
and they get blindsided by it. And
Yes.
that's where they go broke.
Correct.
From what I've observed, is that even true?
It is. And so I think it's the perception of running an F&B business or being in hospitality, just that perception of that, like you said, the glory, that feeling of, I own a bar or I own a bar, or I own a restaurant, or that kind of, it feels easy, if that makes sense. Like you said, like, it feels easy, right? Like everybody's like, oh, my mom can cook, I can cook. Or, this guy's shaking cocktails, I can shake cocktails too. And you look at like, oh, I can make that at home for $5. Why are you serving me at $42? Well, that's a lot of money you make, right? And I think it's because, having that perception, not having that fundamental side of the business and running the restaurant, not knowing there's so many hidden costs behind that, is what actually kills a lot of people's dream. And it's quite sad sometimes to hear so many people actually go in this business with that massive amount of passion and going in there like, I'm gonna run a restaurant, I'm gonna cook great food, I'm gonna serve people, I'm gonna be amazing, and actually see them years later on being defeated, and just racking up bills. And it's quite sad to really see that. And I'm very lucky to be able to have great mentors, to be able to teach me down the road, and to be able to see the fundamental side of the business of the hospitality, and not just see it as passion and glory and fame and,
And you need the passion and the glory, don't you? You need that as a driving force. And you need to be able to cook.
Yeah.
There are certain things you need.
Yeah.
But beyond that, tell me about the fundamentals in hospitality. What are they?
So there is, I think, two sides of hospitality. There is the business side of it, where your costings have to make sense. You're buying. At the end of the day, it's a business, right? So you buy things, or you offer a service, and then that's where your profits made. So a lot of people gets too caught up in trying to create the best stuff and not looking at the costings. So the costings in hospitality, it's always something that in the industry, we're like, look, what's your cost of goods and stuff like that. And that is the fundamentals of the business. But a big thing that I really treasured as a part of hospitality, and this was one of the reasons why I love hospitality, is the people in it, right? Is that your team members and your colleagues and the camaraderie, like I mentioned earlier, and that is actually, believe it or not, is a big fundamental part of your business. And creating a network of individuals or a team that is able to be pushing that business forward is very important to me. So I would not be where I am without my team members. And every day I thank the Lord that I have this great team that I have today, because without them, I would not be where I am. Like, hospitality is not a one-man team or a two-man team. This is, your team, a camaraderie.
It's a team sport, isn't it?
It's a team sport.
And that doesn't happen by accident.
No.
Your team didn't happen by accident.
No, absolutely.
How did you manage to put together a team of people that pushes your business in the direction that you know it needs to go to be successful?
Yeah. And a big part of me is leading my team through leadership. So I'm a very hands-on person. My team knows that I work side by side with them. And we'll do the same amount of hours, hopefully more or less in that sense. But actually guiding them and pushing them to become a better person every day. So I made a pact, I made a promise to my team that the day they walk in my door as an individual, and when they're hired and they work or they work side by side with me, or they, as a part of this team member, and I know one day they will leave me, right? So when one day they leave me, I promise that I'm going to make them a better person when they first start walking in. It could be through a compassion side of things. It could be through an emotion side of things. It could be through growing up, being a better team member, being a better leader, perhaps. And that is all emotions. And emotions, and I always say this, right? This is my favorite quote to all my team members. The job is not hard. Dealing with people, that is hard. And when I say dealing with people, I'm not talking about specific individuals. Or like, I don't like that person, we're not going to work with this person, or that guest is not great. It's about, because people are a vessel of emotions. We come into work, I'm pretty sure you come in today and it's like you might not be the best. You might break up with your girlfriend, you had a fight with your boyfriend last night, and your dog is sick and you just brought it to the vet this morning, and all that is emotion, and that is people. And I always say that, dealing with people, being able to cover each other. When I say cover, it's like, look, if Hanif's coming in today and he's upset, can we together as a team help Hanif so that, we together will go through this today, and it's not just Hanif's having a bad day. We all gonna be together and pick him up, and we're gonna, and that I find is that whole emotions, and that leading people together, and actually as a group, not just as an individual. It's the fundamental of me bringing a team together. And everybody has weaknesses and strengths. And my goal as a leader is always to identify your weakness and identify your strength. And I want to one day defeat that weakness out of you and hopefully enhance your strength. And if I can do that for every single individual of my team members, I will go to sleep every night, be absolutely happy. And that is my biggest motto, to be a leader. To not just prosper in the business side, to also lead my team members and being able to every day grow them to become a better person. Yeah, that is...
That's a wonderful point of view and perspective, because when we talk about business fundamentals, I'll go back to the finances for a second.
Yeah.
We do have a look at where the major costs are in the business. And for you, I'd imagine rent, labour and staffing costs would be high.
Yep.
And then product.
Product, yep.
Would be the three major things I would imagine in your business. And staff productivity, I know in every business, depends on everyone's attitude.
Yep.
Not on their skill. So it's really interesting to hear you talk about how you lead your staff and viewing them rather than as a cost, because you've never mentioned that.
Yeah.
Ever since I've met you, you've never mentioned that, but you view them as a human being in the light of being a vessel of emotion. But you live that, don't you?
I do, yeah. So a big part of my team is a sense of belonging, or a sense of a family, or a sense of home. A lot of my team members are working as a full-time or a casual with a lot of hours, and they might be going through school, they might be going through a lot of things, and the fact is they actually spend a lot of time in the venue with each other. So you have to enjoy what you do, and you have to enjoy who you're with to be able to feel a sense of, I don't mind going to work, or I don't mind actually being here. And if I can create that sense of home or belonging in that venue, and for them to actually earn the money because they're in the venue, it's a bonus for them.
Yeah, the money becomes a bonus, doesn't it?
The money becomes a bonus for them.
Yeah.
They love being there, right? And this is amazing because without me realizing, they bond so close to each other that they want to see each other even during their days off. They will go out and have lunch together. They have to go and dinner together. Sometimes they invite me, and sometimes I rock up, and most of the time I don't. But they share their personal stories to each other, right? And that just shows that that emotion connection between each other. And when they come in, And you said, you mentioned productivity just now, right? And this is where it gets interesting because, when the productivity feels like you have to answer to your manager, that's what it feels like, right? You're not doing enough. And your manager's coming to you and goes, hey, you're not doing great. Your productivity level is low. What's going on? But on our end, what I like to create and what I want to create is not having that answer to me. It's actually answering back to your colleague, right? So if you come in and it's been a really rough day, trust me, you know your team, my team, the other team, they will cover you because that's how they sense a sense of belonging. Michelle just had a very bad period there and she's going to be weak and she cannot walk too much. The whole group will cover for Michelle, for example, right? But when Michelle starts, having those days, or having bad days way too often, trust me, before I start saying something about your productivity, the team actually will confront you about it. And they'll be like, hey, it's not cool, Michelle. Like, what's going on? Or they will feel that, that is the weakest link immediately. Yeah. And that is, I found that whole sense of team and bonding and that connectivity and emotional connection, and that is the beauty part of it, where I feel like, it bonds, it gels between them. Yeah.
How did you pick your people, Raymond?
A big part of it is, of course, knowledge. Obviously being, whether or not they've been in the industry for a while and they know what they're doing and stuff like that. But also at the same time, whether or not they can gel with the team, whether they be able to bond with the team. That is also that. So, sometimes we hire people not just simply because of their knowledge. We hire people because we know that we can nurture this person, or we can grow this person, or this person wants to be there, or this person willing to, learn new things and willing to go out of their comfort zone to bond with the team. And that sometimes is the key difference between, sometimes I would hire a superstar that could dominate the whole team. Yes, I would love that. But if you are a lone wolf and you do not gel well with a team, I'm sorry, you might be the first one to go. And I know my team might not be as strong as this, Spartan of a person, but, the team will always take, I will always prioritize the team over a certain individual. And that is sometimes the way I view the team.
Mm. Yeah. How many staff do you have now?
I have about, some restaurants run on about a 15 and 20 man team, some less, some more, depending on the scale of the restaurant. Hospitality, F&B is such a very rewarding industry. And funnily, so I work Friday, Saturday nights, right? And occasional Sundays. And a lot of times there is family time for people. And there is time in my life where I decided I want to run away. I'm like, you know what? How does it feel like to do Monday to Friday, 9 to 5? Because I've never done it before, right? I graduated from high school and that's all I've been doing, right? So then, the other side of the grass is greener and everybody thinks like, oh, you know what? I want to do 9 to 5. It'll be easier. I like to think so. I can spend Friday night with the family and Saturday with my friends, Sunday. What does Monday blues sounds like? Never had that before. So middle of my career, I actually decided to quit hospitality, to quit F&B. And I did a 6-month course in engineering and started working full-time on top of that as a cabinet making, believe it or not. Doing 9 to 5, earning a bit more money. But I dreaded every day of my life.
Why?
I did 10 months of it. I woke up every day. The first thing I think about goes, here we go again. And I would just keep looking at the time. Is it lunchtime yet? Is it tea time yet? Can I go for my smoko? And can I go home yet? And and that goes back to passion. And I just don't have the passion for it. And I realized that in that particular time of my life, it wakes me up that the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it, right? And I realized that I don't mind earning less money as long as I'm happy doing what I do. And I think today, and I went back to hospitality after that 10-month stint of cabinet making, and I've never looked back since, right? And I've never said to myself, oh, it would be nice to do Monday, Friday, 9 to 5, or be, it's like, I just, every day I wake up and I'm very grateful to go to work. And I love going to work. And I do not look at my time and be like, when's the next smoke or when's the next lunch break? And, I'm just grateful and happy. Yeah, this is me. This is love.
What about your family? How do they, because they do miss you on Friday nights and Saturday nights.
Of course.
But they know you do what you do. So it's not as if they didn't know, hey, this is Raymond's life. This is what it's going to be. But it does have an impact on family too, doesn't it?
Absolutely, right? So, of course, there'll be times where I need to take an occasional weekend off for traveling or for a very important birthday, my partner's birthday, mom's dinner or dad's, 60th birthday, whatsoever. So obviously it's not every weekend, but it made me feel grateful of the time that I have to spend with them. And when I do have time to spend with them, I wholeheartedly spend time with them. When I first started, I have my work email on my phone, and I used to always reply emails at random time. I could wake up at 2 a.m. to go to the toilet, and I will see an event email that and my brain would just switch on. I started sending emails, or same with during family dinners or spending quality family time, and I started doing that. So now I started, pushing, being able to be more appreciative of the time that I have with them by, not having my work email attached to my phone anymore, or not actually replying to work-associated non-urgent stuff. And that made me feel more appreciated with them and the time that I don't really have a lot of time with them. Yeah. And I made time to spend time on a Sunday. I don't work on Sundays. So, Sundays, I don't touch my laptop. And then if anything comes in, and I'm pretty sure I can wait till Monday unless something,
super urgent or something close up.
Happen in the shop at the moment that I tend to.
They'll call you anyway, won't
they'll call you anyway. But most of the time, I tend to disengage if I can during family time to spend time with them. Yeah.
That sounds like a better, I use that word carefully, a better option and way to live rather than saying, I've got every weekend off. Yeah. And I'm kind of half there because this is regular and everybody takes on that attitude actually, don't they?
Yeah.
Nobody treasures it as much because we're just there.
And you just feel like, oh yeah, just a weekend, and it's kind of given, isn't it? It's kind of given that there is every weekend spent with them. So the fact that I don't have every weekend spent with them made me feel even more appreciated that I have time with them.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and a lot of times I have my own time. So it feels more balanced to me actually in the other way around, where the time that I have a lot of me time actually. For example, in the morning I can go to the gym, I can go exercise because there is no one at home.
Yeah,
and I have my own sweet time, right? I can go to the gym and I don't have to. I don't feel like I can do my errands. So I felt that is the silver lining sometimes in that. Yeah,
I love the way that you've been able to garner more gratitude for the time you have with the people close to you. Yeah, for me, that sounds like the ultimate silver lining. Is to say, well, I own and operate a bunch of businesses. I work hard at it, and it's hospitality, so it's going to be late. And at the same time, I spend really high quality time with the people around me.
Yeah.
And I would imagine, because it's emotional, gratitude goes all the way around. So it's not only you being more grateful for the time you're spending with them. Yeah. I think that would be reflected because you're more present.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And instead of, I think you're right, not having that feeling of, you take advantage of, you get to see your family every weekend, right? Well, don't get me wrong, I still see my family every weekend, but the time is just not as much. So when the time that I have to spend time with them, I want to do something with them. I want to spend time with them. It could be just as simple as just cuddling up on the sofa watching TV, and not feeling like it's meant, like not feeling like it's always like that. Like it's you feel gratitude. You feel grateful that you have the time to spend with them, and being able to spend weeknights sometimes having dinner together or having date nights together instead of being at work. You appreciate the time that you have to each other, and sometimes I believe distance makes the hearts grow fonder, and a little bit of that definitely builds the relationship. Obviously, too much is non-existent. what relationship? It's non-existent. But a little bit of that really helps. And I have a very supportive partner, and she's very understanding in what I do, and I owe my success to her as well. And being, she's so supportive. She's understanding in what I do, and both of us reciprocate the same way. Where when we have time to spend with each other, we're so grateful to be there for each other, we could not be doing anything at home, but we still feel grateful that we have each other, being there and spending time. Yeah,
that's a little bit of magic just in itself, isn't it? Really,
absolutely. That's amazing. That's really amazing.
Talk to me about the food at MODU.
Yeah,
and how involved do you get in the menu and the tasting, and how do you decide who cooks it and whether it's up to par? Because you are a person of very high standards, clearly.
Yeah. I think I have a really great kitchen team, and one of my business partner is the group executive chef as well. So he creates the menu, but obviously on my end, running the restaurant side and hearing a lot of customer feedbacks and guest feedbacks and stuff. So I relay their message back to them. It could be changing a certain ingredient, creating a food that could be off trend. It could be something that is no longer on trend that we need to move out of. It could be something that we want to try experiment, breaking barriers again, right? And there is, I think it's definitely not a singular person's opinion or feedback. It doesn't necessarily only come from me. It comes from the whole team as well. So my team members could have a lot of say as well in terms of what they think could work, what they think couldn't work. And ultimately, the kitchen obviously decides what they want to create, whether or not it's operationally perceivable to create that item, right? So in terms of food standard, going back to this sense of belonging, right? Because my team, I'm not standing there to look at every single food comes out of my kitchen, but everybody looks into it. My wait staff looks into it. That chef's in the corner looking into it, and having that sense of belonging and the feeling of this is what we're proud of to serve goes very, very far away in terms of them being able to go, you know what, we're not happy with this, and we're not going to serve it because. And they would openly say, no, we're going to send this back to the kitchen before it even gets out of the kitchen to be like, no, this is not what we are happy to serve.
That's interesting. Just as a way of a little bit of feedback, it feels that way when I'm at MODU, because when your wait staff bring the food, you can feel that they're proud to put it in front of you.
Yeah.
That's just not, here's your plate of food that you order. It's not that.
Yeah. So
it's it feels personal for them.
Correct. It feels personal to them. And going back about personal, right? It's talking about personal. It's if you're a regular at MODU and you come in quite often, we start knowing you by first name, right? And when you come in the door, it's not hi, do you have a table? Or hi, how can I help? It's hi Hanif. I don't think you got a reservation with us today. Do you want to take a seat in the bar or something, right? It's very personalization because they feel a sense of belonging. And MODU not only is a business, obviously it is, the front is a business, but we like to feel a sense of a community, like the belonging, the community sense, right? So we have regulars that come in every week or every 3 days or every day sometimes that we know by their first name basis, that when they come in and actually see the new bartender or the new kitchen person or the new waitstaff, they'll actually go up and goes, hi, my name is Raymond. You must be new. What's your name? Right? And that becomes a sense of, that adds that feeling of community for the guests and for the team members. They feel accepted. They feel comfortable.
It's an extended family, isn't
absolutely, right? And this is an analogy or a story that I like to tell my team. That hospitality or F&B or a restaurant is one of the oldest industry. And going back, we're talking about thousands of years, right? And it started because of what we call like house invitation party. I was like, I don't know whether this is real, the fact, but I like this story. Like, and I like to believe this is real. That someone will, like a husband and wife, or they like always host event parties or parties at home or dinner parties, right? And they will invite the great friends, come in, and they'll come in and they will have food together. They will have great wine, the great food, and then they off they go. And then, the next, friends could come next tomorrow and the weekend. And someone might go to them and goes, you know what, you do great food, great drinks. You should maybe open a restaurant, right? So, and these couple might create a restaurant, and you know what? They actually will make it feel like their home, like as though you come into their home, right? To eat their food. But the difference is obviously you're ordering something off the menu.
Yes.
But it feels like, you're opening up your home to these guests to come in and enjoy your food. And slowly that becomes your food, your service, your hospitality. And I always tell, my team members about it, where it goes, hey, these guys are coming to your home because, you know what? You definitely spend more time here than your home. For all the full-timers, they'll go home and sleep. But most of them, they stay awake. And probably by the time they stay awake, they probably spend more time in this venue than at home, right? So this is your home. So when people come in, make them feel at home, right? If you, Hanif, come in with your partner or a guest, right? It's like coming to my home. Right? Do I greet you by the door? Do I say hello when you come in? Absolutely. And my wife or my partner could be cooking in the kitchen, and when you walk past the kitchen, or you walk past someone doing something, would you say hello? Absolutely. Hanif come in with his partner. Hey, how are you, Hanif? How are you? Good seeing you again. Or like, hey, how are you? Might not know your name, we just say hi. And that sense of home is what's important. It's kind of being able to be hospitalized, to cater to that guest. And as you walk out the door, do you say bye? And do you say thank you? Absolutely. It's as though if you come at home today and you come in and dine in, thank you for coming. Thank you, thank you for taking the time to visit us. And how is food tonight? Did my partner cook you great chicken schnitzels? Was the wine great? You want to know about it, because that is that's my analogy. The story that I always tell my team members is like, hey, when people come to your house, it's like your home, because Michelle is your sister. That is your, it could be your mom. It could be someone at home. It's like, this is your home.
It's no wonder you're successful. People want to come to MODU. They actually want to come. It's not only your staff.
Yeah.
But I see it amongst the cohort, because you have lots of regulars and they always bring people, and new people just want to come there. But it's the feeling that you've created.
It's a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
It's a sense of community.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, and that is, I think, a fundamental of MODU in general, and a fundamental of being in the hospitality business and creating a sense of belonging. And I'm definitely not the only one that is doing this. There's a lot of really great hospitality operators in Perth that shares the same mindset. And listening to a lot of different hospital operators, you definitely can see that. You definitely can see.
You can pick them, can't you?
You can pick them. You can pick them, and you can see these guys are successful because of who they are and stuff like that. And it's a very hands-on industry. It's a very hands-on industry. Yeah.
What's really great on the menu right now? Raymond's picks. Give me Raymond's picks.
Oh, what's really going on the menu? That's a lot.
Now I'm testing you.
Yeah. I love my steak, so we do this steak at the moment. It has we call it kimchi churi. So again, fusion, right? It's a chimichurri, and then we mix kimchi into it. So chimichurri is an Argentinian steak sauce that is normally made with parsley and vinegar and a bit of coriander. So we mix kimchi into it, which is a Korean fermented cabbage. Creates this kind of like saltiness, balance, umami texture. Then you grill the steak over it, so it's good. And another one that I really like at the moment, there's a fish dish. We had this new menu 3 weeks ago, by the way. And the fish dish is basted with like a creamy sambal, like a tamarind-based sambal, and it's just char grilled. And then with a bit of sauteed eggplant and okra and a crispy bits as well. It's amazing. Yeah, it's packed full of flavors. It's delightful to eat. Yeah, and great cocktails as well. We do great whiskeys.
You've got it. I know your whiskey selection is amazing, to say the least. It's something people should experience.
Yeah.
Tell me about the cocktails. Tell me, what's your pick of the cocktails right now?
What is the pick of the cocktail at the moment? Yeah, so there is one of my senior bartender created this old-fashioned. Old-fashioned is a cocktail made with normally bourbon or whiskey with bitters and sugar. So very simple, very classic gentleman's drink. And he fat wash it. So when we say fat wash, we incorporate butter to make it creamy and rich. We mix banana and miso into it. He does that, and it is his great idea, and such a talented individual, right? And he creates, and it's clarified as well, so it's clear, it's rich, it's punchy, it's a very gentleman drink, and to add playfulness to it, it's called Wukong stream, by the way, because Wukong is the monkey king in China, right? So, banana and monkey, that kind of playful side of the thing, Wukong stream. And to top of that kind of playfulness to it, there is this little banana candy that you get in primary school.
Everyone knows bananas, right? Everyone knows
bananas. Banana thing, right? And he dips it in melted chocolate. So, and it just sits on top of this ice cube. It's perfect.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it has this Asian element which has the miso and that banana side of things, and that has that little playfulness of that banana and chocolate. So yeah, we love to play, and sometimes we might go overboard. We might go overly crazy, but it's the joy. It's to create, and what we believe, right? It's every man's food is every man's poison. So you will never be able to satisfy everyone, right? But sometimes it gets people to chat and talk and discuss, and that is what food is about. Because if you go out to someone's house for dinner, that's what you chat about. So you talk about the food, you talk about things, you talk about everything. And food is a topic in general. So there is this crazy cocktail that I created in the menu, right? So I made a whiskey sour. It's called nasi lemak sour, right? Nasi lemak is the national dish of Malaysia. It's rice. There is a plate of rice. It's a comfort food plate of rice. There is sambal. There is a peanut and anchovy crumbs.
Does this come with the cocktail?
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
all right. This is cool. All right. Lay it on me.
And there's normally like a beef curry, a beef rendang, or a fried chicken. So I can't unfortunately incorporate those guys in there in the cocktail. But it's normally it's a comfort food in Malaysia. It's the number one dish in Malaysia, right? So when I was creating this cocktail, I wanna go back to my being Southeast Asian, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore, and that and I wanna do something that feels home, but done absolutely batshit insane. So I created this whiskey sour, and whiskey sour is made. It's a very classic cocktail made with whiskey, egg white, lemon, sugar, and just shaken up, and then there's this little foam on top. So with the nasi lemak sour, nasi lemak has egg, so hence the whiskey sour with the egg white makes sense. And then we put coconut milk to it because nasi lemak is coconut milk rice. And the rim, I glazed it with a bit of sambal and then coat it with a peanut and anchovy dust. And there is shrimp there is the shrimp element, there is the peanut element, and there is the fish element, which is the anchovies, and it sounds like someone who if might have allergic is an absolute nightmare to have.
EpiPens come on the side.
Have it stored ready in the bar whenever you need it. Stab you with it, and to finish it off, a rice cracker to sit on top. Right, and it's heavily salted rice cracker. So it's you sip in this cocktail. And you bite and you sip and you bite, you sip, you bite. It's like a course by itself. If that makes sense, it's more than just a drink. It becomes more than just a drink, and that just shows the things that we do. And there's times where people try and go, Raymond, this is a no-go. You've definitely done better things, And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. But it generally becomes something that people talk about. And sometimes food is exactly that. And there is people that actually love it. Like a lot of people actually love it as well. And there is some, there's some people don't like it, and there's some people love it. So, and this is only here for a period. And that's why it's a limited edition cocktail. It's just there to be the talk, to have something to talk about.
But it's so different. Yeah. It's so different. And it sounds like an adventure in a glass.
Correct, right? And that is the beauty of food and drink sometimes. It is, everybody's man's food, and another man's food, another man's poison. So it's not just food. It's a conversational topic sometimes. It's a drink, it's a delight, it's an experience. And going out dining should be not just filling up your stomach. It should be an experience. You should go home and be like, wow, what a great night, or what a great lunch we had. What a great thing. It's not just food. Going out and going to an establishment should be a whole package. It's a sensory package. That is that. Yeah. And that's what we strive. We try to create that.
I feel like everybody should go to MODU. If you haven't tried MODU,
thank you.
Go to MODU. Even if you said, I just want to try one of these cocktails.
Try it.
And I've been there. I can attest. Hand on heart, it's just bloody wonderful.
And
the food is to die
for. Too kind.
It's the truth. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. Where do we find MODU for people who don't know?
We're just right behind Lateral on Sherwood Courts. We're just off St. George's Terrace, right in the middle of an alleyway. So find Sherwood Court in Google in Perth, and you'll find us right in the middle, smack bang into it. And come on down, experience, try something you never tried before, and be adventurous.
Yeah, you have a good time, and the staff are just wonderful.
Thank you.
So you can't help but just feel at home at MODU.
And they're amazing. Yeah.
Raymond, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And thanks for sharing too. It's so interesting to hear a restaurateur's and a bar owner's perspective on it.
Yeah.
And certainly about the staff. We didn't dive into the hard bits of running a restaurant, but it's interesting to see how you've made it work. And it does seem like your experience as a child and what you yearn for, you've actually brought to life for a whole bunch of other people through your venues. And
I can only hope I can inspire all the younger people to go into that hospitality. And I think it's such an amazing industry to be in. It's very rewarding. So, and I think if I would have done exactly the same, I would have given the same advice to my younger self to go into, to really try and be different, try different things, and jump into the industry that you want to jump in. Yeah.
That's so cool. Last thing before you go. One more thing. There seems to be always one more thing. Thank you for being here, he says, and then he continues on for another half an hour. If I loved my food and I thought, I really want to start a restaurant, what advice would you give me?
That's a hard one. I think start small. I really think start small. Try experiment. And start talking to different people in terms of and not just your closest friend. Test your food out. Actually, test your food out and just venture out and talk to different people about whether or not like you said, you like your food, but another man's food, another man's poison. Do you maybe go and try cook for someone different, and just let them try and see, do you like this food? Do you like that? Like and stuff like that, and start looking into costings as well. And as much as the glory of going back to the glory of running a restaurant and running a bar, never shy away or never look too far away from your costings, because at the end of the day, it's so easy to diminish your passion if you don't start. If you don't do your homework, or you don't look into that hospitality side of the business. That's my advice. If you're looking into starting a hospitality business, I would strongly suggest actually, working somewhere first. Don't just jump into it. Don't just go in, jump into that water. Could be a very deep diving pool. You want to go in there, just try, and sometimes all it takes is for you to do part-time maybe in a restaurant, or do part-time in a bar, or just try it out. It might not be for you, or you might fall in love with it. So try it out first, and play with that industry a bit more. And I think my advice is definitely not jumping too straight away into it.
Easy as it goes.
Yeah, easy as it goes. And speak to and a lot of restaurant owners are actually not are very open to be able to nurture the next generation there. And so don't be afraid actually to talk to your boss, talk to your manager, to just get why the chain of thought is doing this, or why do you sell this food at $42? Obviously you might want to start getting hired at the venue at the first time. Start going in there, asking the interview questions like, why do you sell $42? But you just chat to them, because the industry is the food and beverage industry is very open to nurturing and young people, and we're always looking ways to grow the next generation, to find the next Raymond, perhaps, to find the next venue manager there. There's always opportunities. So if you look to open a restaurant, and maybe start talking to people, because everybody has so many things to share, and everybody's not shy to share. Yeah.
Isn't it a wonderful culture in that industry?
Very wonderful.
Again, thanks, Raymond.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope you guys, I hope I share a lot of things that could be an insight, and thank you.
You have.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Right. Cheers.